Hi everyone. Ayubowan, very good morning or very good afternoon. We have with us again Miss Dilmi Mahadurage, our spiritual counselor who has experienced an awakening some time ago, which she is very altruistically sharing it with people who are seeking inner peace and happiness. So today's topic is, now we always say true nature of life. We always tell people, see the true nature of life and existence. Now, for average people, the true nature is this. But we are, you get up in the morning and then you have your breakfast and you go to work and then you attend to your family matters. Now, this is the nature of existence for many people. But then these spiritually awakened sages, and they tell us, well, no, this is not the true nature, this is an illusion, so you need to see the true nature. Now, our today's topic is, what is the need? What is the need for people to look for the true nature? So I will straight away pose that question to our speaker, Ms. Dilmini Mahadurage. Why do you think people should look for this true nature?
Okay, Dr. Vipula, like imagine like someone dying without knowing even who you are, and we gather all the knowledge in the world, without even knowing the basic question, who am I? And I realized the time that I've not known who I am, I was completely distorted with my reality. Even though I was living in the reality, but it was a complete distortion of the true nature, So for me, it's like, I don't even understand why, how can someone live without even knowing who you are? Because that's your true nature. And this is the exact reason, the number one root cause of all our suffering. Why? It's because we are not aware about our true nature. We are not aware about this unity consciousness. And so we divide and we separate each other, and how many conflicts are there? The conflicts outside that you see is nothing but the conflicts inside you, So that's it, like the whole root cause of suffering is coming because of not knowing who you are, not knowing your true nature. And that is the reason I like how much of, like, honestly speaking, when I realized this truth, in the beginning, I wasn't really ready to share this with people, because like, who would even get it? Because this is like whole upside down, it's like 180 degrees, like other way around, like, and then I didn't really think will there be someone who would even open to hear this, like, like, even if I share it, like, it would take like a joke. So, but when I see more and more suffering in people around me and in outside, I couldn't just keep that to myself. And then I started little by little sharing, and I started coaching people, and I started seeing real transformations in their life. And then I started continue to do it, sharing this. Yeah.
Indeed. That's why I use the word through sheer altruism. Because you have nothing to gain by saying a thing which the majority of the population will reject at once, I mean,
for sure.
Because me doesn't want to hear this, Me doesn't want to
Exactly.
hear that there is no me. Okay, you touched on something which we always want to talk about, suffering. And I'll tell you, suffering, when you look around, there's suffering. You look inside, there's suffering. You look outside, there's suffering. It's just that people do not want to accept it. And instead, they are coming up with solutions. You know, if you have wealth, you can come out of this. If you have positions, if you have power, you know, you can come out of suffering. That's a notion, but as you know, suffering will continue to be there. So you touched on that, the analogy. People are suffering because they don't know who they are, right? Now, let me ask you this question. The whom they think they are and whom they think they are not. Or in other words, when you are showing them, you are not what you think you are. Now, how do you, now say when you are advocating this to someone who has come to you for counseling, please tell us, because the majority will benefit if you just use the same approach to you know, someone who comes to you seeking solace. If you can just tell us, you know, a description of, you know, a person who doesn't know who he is and the person who knows who he is. What's the difference?
Yeah, the difference is like this honestly, like all this emotional turmoil or the suffering is there due to this not knowing who you are. And then for your question, what is the difference? Basically, what summary of the question is, what is the difference between can you just
the one who knows,
summarize the question?
Yeah, the one who doesn't know who he is, yes, there is a lot of suffering. And then you said the one who knows, this this suffering can be mitigated to a great extent. So what the one who knows, so what is that picture? The one who knows who he is, how do you describe that?
One who knows who he is, he's like, you know, that person, like the one, they are like, it's not even a one, like honestly speaking, a person, there's no person who realized the truth or realized the true nature, because yourself dissolves once you experience that true nature, you know. And to like, so that like we have, for a person who doesn't know their true nature, we have principles, we have precepts, we have rules to govern that person's life, you know. But for a person who has realized their true nature, they know their unity consciousness, they know that the other person is myself, you know. They are not required with any rules to bind, so that they will not attack or harm another person, because they have that deep like awareness, the deep wisdom within themselves, like this whole thing is myself, like in different shapes, in different forms, you know. And they have that awareness, so they don't need to be governed by any of these precepts or anything like that. So all this, why people need all these rules or precepts or principles, is because they don't know who their true nature is, you know. And then there's more they don't know, the more they are away from their true nature, more they have the separation very, very strongly, you know. When then there'll be so much conflict, so much fight, so much suffering, you know. And once you come into that unity, the whole thing dissolves.
You said there's one point which is clear. Now I'll go back to the question, you know, why do people want to see the true nature? Now one point that you raised was that there is no separation then, because you said everyone is appearing, you know, in the shape of, you know, or other
different forms
of the consciousness, right?
Of the
in which case there is this kind of a recognition that you are also me, I am also you, kind of a, I mean,
Yes.
you can't take
Yeah.
it in total.
And then if I know, like, let's say, if I know Dr. Vipula is myself, do I need any rules or precepts to say that, you know, like, don't harm him or don't do anything which is like not good for you, because then there's no need of anything governing that person.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So what you were trying to say, yeah.
Yeah, right. That you are also me, I'm also you. Immediately, the metta arises, you know, the loving kindness.
Yeah, it's not coming out of some artificial effort.
Yeah.
It's with knowing your true nature. Yeah.
And I mean, it's going beyond altruism, isn't it? I mean, like when someone is acting in a different way, you will go beyond the usual framework to understand the person. So therefore, there is nothing but the metta or the loving kindness that can arisen, you know. So yeah, great. So now you raised one point very clearly, why people need to do this. I mean, that will probably give them immediate relief, you know, the tension between people, because there is no separation. There is also this question I want to ask you about Maya, about illusion. Now, this I want you to elaborate a little more. What you think your experience is may not be true. How do I raise this question? Last time we spoke about a dream, and then Maya, illusion, these are all similar words. Can you give us one or two examples why the people who think they are separate, why they have to live in an illusion, while another person who knows he is will not have the agony of grouping in the dark? I don't know whether I put the question correctly. This illusory nature of life. If you can just elaborate this.
The illusion nature of life.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Vipula, like, so for example, like when you are not aware about this whole illusion nature or the true nature of yourself, you take this whole experience very, very real. Very real, because whatever happens is so real to you, right? And at the time. And then, like, once you see beyond it, like once you see the whole thing is nothing but like your mind game, you were hallucinating the whole time, you know, like you were hallucinating the whole time. Like sometimes I've seen that people are experiencing, even those who are living in the illusion, I've seen people when they take that psychedelics. Well, I'm not really advocating to anyone to try this or anything like that, but what I'm saying is like when they take that psychedelics or something like that, some substance like that, they immediately start experiencing that true nature, you know, like that, not exactly the true nature maybe, but somewhat very much similar to it. And then suddenly their ego dissolves and they just merge with that existence, and then they are there for like 7-8 hours of time, and then they come out and then they suddenly like, wow, like, was that the reality or is this the true reality? You know, then suddenly, and because I've seen so many seekers come into me and has discussed with me, like those who have had psychedelics, and even though like people like label them as, oh, like these drug addicts or anything like that, but then sometimes they go in a completely different path once they experience it, because they can see that, wow, like there's something beyond what we are experiencing here, because for that particular moment, they were like for 7 to 8 hours, they were in a completely different reality where everything slows down and they start seeing things very clearly, and something similar, you know. So Yeah, so going back to your question.
Let me rephrase the question. Then now that you explain, I think it's easy for me to. Now we are saying, okay, what is experiential is a maya or it's a dream. Then does it mean, now see, if I look at a tree, the house, my surrounding, I can see the flowers. Am I suggesting, or are you suggesting they are real, but because I think I'm a separate person, I see it as real, or it is not real, including myself, and because this is just part of a dream? Which I don't know whether I explained it properly.
Yes, it is let me tell you, it is a complete illusion. Part of you and the tree and everything else is a complete illusion. That's why I said you were from the very beginning hallucinating this whole dream the whole time, the entire time. Even right now, you thinking that you are having
very fruitful discussion. Yeah, I know.
Which is like another game that you are playing with your own mind. It's just a mind game. But let me tell you, your mind is so sophisticated, Dr. Vipula. It is so unbelievably sophisticated. This is what the most, I can't even, any computer, whatever is created out of your mind anyway, So there's nothing which can possibly compare mind to, because it's just that sophisticated, and that is what keeps this whole Maya alive, And then they show like something else, like the mind will, whenever you try to get out of it, it will start again showing something which you get hooked again.
There's no way out. There's no way out. Yeah.
There's no way out, honestly speaking. It's not I'm discouraging any of the seekers. There is a way, but then again, when I look at how perfect the illusion is, just blows my mind. It just blows my mind. And then I look at sometimes, my God, like to get it out of, because it's so beautiful. I mean,
it's very real. It's very real. It's very real.
Exactly.
Now let me, for the benefit of the audience, now I will get into the shoes of the audience, and if they immediately ask you this very pragmatic situation, right? Now this is playing hardball, right? Now I'm looking at, I see the trees and the house in front. And then I look back, and then I see the stuff in, there are chairs and, the computer and the fan. Now, when I look at that, there is this notion, I see these trees through my eyes, the flowers, the trees, the wall and the houses through my eyes. And then I turn my head, and then I see something else here. Now, in practical sense, can you tell me what happened? Does the mind make sure that your eyes will see that now, and then your eyes will see this when you turn your head, including the turning of the head? Is that how you want to explain the mind game?
Yes, the mind game is it's like, let me tell you, Dr. Vipula, you have never seen your behind ever. Even when you turn back, you're back again.
This is interesting. This is getting interesting. I'm going to grill you. Okay, go ahead.
You're again seeing the front because you're just looking back, and then again you're just. And then I remember one time, Dr. Vipula, this really hits me one time. At the time, I was a real intense seeker. I was watching a video because my brother sent me a video about something about existence and some sort of a theory, like a quantum theory or something like that they are explaining. And I can't remember exactly, but then I remember in that, in that particular video, they show like this, and then they show it's like this, Dr. Vipula. Let's say you're playing a video game, You know, I mean, going back to, I will explain what I tried to explain before. Like, let's say you're playing a video game. And then let's say, I mean, I used to play this Need for Speed as a when I was small, by the way. And then moment to moment it creates, moment to moment it creates. And let me tell you what happens to behind.
Yeah.
And then what happens? Do you get what I'm saying? I mean, it's not easy to really explain. And it's like moment to moment it creates, like the trees appear and then the road appears and another vehicle appears. And then it's just moment to moment, it starts appearing, you know? And just like that, you've never seen your behind. You were always seeing your front, you know, like what if, what I'm telling you, Dr. Vipula, what if your behind is just nothingness, just like, for me to explain it, let's say just black, you know, just black. And you're just seeing this and then in front. And then moment to moment, it creates, just like in the video game, the Need for Speed, more you just move towards in the road, like you're just driving along, and then the vehicles come up and then the trees shows up and then the vehicle shows up and then the road goes again and again, and just like that.
Is that exactly what happens with the mind?
Exactly what happens.
I think I'm getting goosebumps.
Well, I'm telling you, that's it. That's it. You know, you will have a lot of like, yeah. That also, like, let me tell you about this whole goosebumps thing here that you shared, because it even your body responds to what I say. Maybe your mind will not get it, but your mind, you know this truth, Dr. Vipula, deep inside. I'm not telling anything new here. I'm not giving you any new information. Only thing that I'm doing as a teacher or spiritual coach is reminding yourself what you have already forgotten in your life. That's it.
I'll come back to the question. Why do people want to see the reality? Right. Now, there is another thing. Now, about this illusion and Maya and dream is mentioned by many spiritual leaders, not only, just across the world, from non-duality to Advaita to Buddhist philosophy. They use the word, this is a dream, this is an illusion. Now, why don't people get it then? Isn't there something wrong? If it is widely communicated. Now, there is a difference when you said it, like you gave a simile. You said, how a virtual thing works.
Yeah.
Now, that kind of a simile is very good because it resonates with people.
Okay.
I hope the viewers will benefit from that. Now, when this is mentioned throughout, people should get it at once. Oh yeah, this is a dream. It's not happening, and it doesn't happen like that. Why?
It doesn't happen like that, Dr. Vipula, because you find some entertainment in the illusion. You know? So that's why you find some sort of entertainment. Let me tell you, when I just get down to this whole thing, it's not that I am telling like, oh my God, I'm so like, I was very young actually, like, and like I was exhausted the whole thing. I came to a place that, my God, there's nothing I could possibly look here other than going deeper in spirituality. People are not losing that entertainment. People have some entertainment, so they just move, like the existence loves you. Look at how much love it has. If you want some entertainment, then it just gives what you are entertained with. It just keeps on going. It's just perfect. If you have some entertainment, then like it just go forward. Why it has to stop? Because you're still enjoying this whole thing, this whole illusion, this whole game. You're getting some sort of an entertainment with it. So existence loves you. I'm telling you. Because that's why you just keep on going in the illusion,
you
thinking
are
that the whole
addicted.
thing is true
You
or
are
real.
hooked onto this. Now, there was one interview, I remember, there was this a famous spiritual teacher, he was singing, and then someone from the audience, it was a Zoom thing, one person said, well, you are saying it's an illusion, it's not happening. I mean, what if you are attacked by a dog? The dog will come barking and you will run miles, or maybe you will be bitten by the dog. And I mean, by saying that this is an illusion, wouldn't you run when a dog chases you?
Yeah, you asking me whether I would run?
No, I'm not asking you
okay,
the same
I
thing,
was
but
about to answer it.
yeah. Okay, please answer that, because
Of course I will run. Of course I will run.
And you might get beaten as well, right?
Who knows? Yeah, might be. Yeah, of course. Like I mean, this doesn't mean that you start acting like abnormal or anything like that. Just, I mean, come on. I mean, you learn how, there's an absolute and there's a relative, and then when you're living in the relative world, there's a way that you live, and that's what you learn from the school, in the school and the universities, and how to operate in this world. And if in that relative world, when you're operating, yes, there's like, you go to do things the way it is,
Which may not be the case with the animals and the birds, for example.
Say, what does that mean?
No, when you say animals, let's say birds, they just exist, and for the birds, they don't care whether it's a maya or whether it's a reality, or it just exists,
Yeah, but like that's, yes, okay.
All right, I want to ask you this most important question emanating from our topic now, about this dog chasing and getting beaten, and
but going back to what you said, that the birds and animals existing and all that also nothing but illusion of your own mind, like the hallucination again,
as
again,
an example,
you're thinking, that's again your creation, the way you have created it.
Now, if this, you said absolute and relative, now, even when you recognize it's a maya, it's a dream, then one might raise the question: the suffering will continue. If you look at this dog chasing incident, there will still be suffering. Then what's the point in seeing that this is nothing but a maya?
Yeah, Dr. Vipula, like the physical pain, and the physical pain will continue to be there, whether you have realized the true nature or not. That's how it goes, And because you have a body, and whatever it happens to the body, there'll be physical pain. And what just because you have realized or you recognize your true nature doesn't mean you will not experience your bodily pain that you go through. Then if you take Ramana Maharshi, like he was a realized man, and he just went through a cancer, and I'm sure that he must have gone through a bodily pain, and which will continue to be there. And this is the eradication of the suffering is the mental suffering that you've created, and that's what's going to disappear, and that's what's going to release. But yes, the physical pain, you will experience it.
In this maya, when you say it includes everything, and that's the brilliance of the mind, that includes basically everything. It has yesterday, it has future expectation, and if I touch this chair, I feel the chair. So that's a comprehensive magic.
Exactly, I agree.
So when you saw this, what triggered that seeing through? What triggered, you would have looked at yourself, you would have looked at your body, you would have, what for that moment, exactly what were you doing that triggered this seeing through?
What triggered was, shoot, how did I forgot this?
Ah, okay. Interesting.
And that's like, it was like, I always knew it. But at one point I forgotten. I don't know when or how. And then again, I just suddenly recognized it. Just that simple, you know. And the only thing that I was like, as you said, the trigger was like, shoot, how did I even forgot this? That was the case the whole time, the whole entire time. Yeah.
When you say, I always knew this, just that I forgot, means, were you going back to your childhood? You know, probably as a child, as an infant.
No. No,
As a-
doctor. Yeah, that's good. Like, but yeah, it wasn't like, no, it was like not about some childhood or anything like that. Just beyond anything that you could imagine. It's like beyond any birth that you've even lived, you know. It's just the whole, I mean, this was the tiny thing about my childhood at the time, because there were many, many other lives for sure. And this is going back to the beginning, you know, to the whole beginning of everything.
Like what?
Like to your true nature, like to your spaciousness, like to your existence, which is always there in the background. And in the foreground, it's all these hallucinations and all these forms happening in a beautiful way. But in the background, the existence is always there. Just that for a moment, you just forgotten that you are the creator of the whole game from the very beginning. You are the source of it all.
So, in other words, you are the one. I mean, just you know, kind of a metaphor. So you are the only one living here. There's no one else.
That's it. Even you are an illusion. But let me tell you, let's go like that, you know. Yes, let's say Dr. Vipula is there and you're hallucinating, and everyone else that you're seeing is nothing but a projection, you know, your mind game, and it just appears and disappear. And then at the same time, you are an illusion too. That's why Dr. Vipula, to recognize this, you know, one time one of my clients sent me a video, and what in this particular video, what was happening was that the particular person takes some substance, and then he suddenly starts screaming and just start going nuts. And then she was asking me, what is happening to this man? I said, he's not ready to see this. And he started seeing it in a time which he's not ready. And that's why he's screaming and acting in this way, you know. And that's what her question was like. And so to recognize that there's no one is here, it's just not easy.
All right. Now you
It's
mentioned
not easy.
Ramana Maharishi.
Yeah.
I also have read about Ramana Maharishi.
Yeah.
Let's see. I have a Ramana Maharishi whom I know. Then
Yes.
you have a Ramana Maharishi. So there are three. Me,
Uh-huh.
you, Ramana Maharishi.
Yeah.
So You think Ramana Maharshi, I think of Ramana Maharshi. Then Ramana Maharshi is now, of course, he has passed away.
Yeah.
Now, I want to get this notion out because this is another thing. Because always people think your mind does this. Your mind, meaning that, it is my mind which, fabricates this whole thing.
Now my mind is there.
Yeah. That's. Please elaborate this because Ramana Maharshi, myself, you. Now, how do you now break this notion? My mind, your mind, Ramana Maharshi.
Yeah. You are Ramana Maharshi. That's it. Dr. Vipula is Ramana Maharshi. So you think there's three? Just you are it. You are everyone that you've ever seen. You are the Albert Einstein. Like I can go on and tell you, like, you are the Mahatma Gandhi. I can go on with the list, but then that people will be more controversial, so I'm not going to go in there. Like, you are the Christ.
The sun
You
and the moon and
you are everything.
No, I get it. Because because this is inexplicable with the language. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why it's so easy, Dr. Vipula, like it's just whatever even I say is just people misunderstand mostly. Like I think most of it could be misunderstood. Because
finally it comes to a point that even our conversation is a lie. Because
it's a lie. Yeah. What else? It is a lie, but at least it just
yeah, it's like a policeman appearing from the lies, right? Something like that.
Yeah, sort of like pointing to the it is a lie, like coming as a lie and telling it's a lie.
Yeah, right. That makes sense. And now, is that what the Buddhist philosophy says, prajna, or the seventh eye or the third eye, which is because when there is no me, so there's no me to see, so there has to be another eye, we don't know where. What recognizes this? The true nature.
Yeah, what recognizes it? Do you see immediately when we say that what recognizes it, when we ask that questions, and we can stay with the question.
And that brings the question to an end, right?
Exactly.
I think, Dilmi, if now...
And one more thing, doctor, like you were talking about this mind is there. Its mind is they are very strongly, okay, now my mind is there to project, right? Now my mind is there to project everything. Like now there's something called mind here. But here's the thing. Because you see the mind as a noun, because you make it as a noun, like it's like, let's make it verb, minding. I'm just creating a word here, putting an ing, what if it's a minding? Now it's just I get do you get what I'm saying? Now it just collapses even the whole mind game, because now otherwise people, there's something called mind here, like there's something real with the mind, huh? Like, no, like let's make it a verb, minding, thought comes and it disappears.
Yeah, it's like charing and the treeing and the flowering and everything.
And it disappears, And now we can talk about it because now even the mind is just that the power that we have given to that mind just starts disappearing, dissolving. Because once maybe make it a verb, now it's just thought arises, thought disappears. Thought arises, thought disappears. It's like a river. Now we made it more like a river. Did you see that what I did here? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in other words, the power of the illusion is such that even to say, I see from my eyes, I hear from my ears, and I think from my mind, and I smell with my nose. That's a power of the magic, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, because you are not even this whole senses are those are the real ones. You know, those are the creation of the magic. But in reality, Dr. Vipula, you are not seen from your eyes.
Yeah, never
You're
seen
not
from
hearing. No, you're not hearing from your ears. You're not tasting it your tongue. Everything behind is your mind is experiencing. You know, it's your mind. Like, let me tell you, in the night, when you're sleeping at night, your eyes are closed, but
you see.
I'm telling you, you see it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So the dream,
Yeah.
so dream is the best clue. The dream is the best
That's the
clue.
loophole. At least in my experience, that's the loophole. You know, that's the loophole.
You know, I like the way you said it, because it's so you are that. It's just that you had forgotten. But even to say you had forgotten, the language is. But I think you came up with a very good thing. It's a verb. You know, the moment you convert the mind into a verb, it resolves a lot of things. Otherwise, as a noun, I have a
Now
mind
it's
here.
there, it's there. You know, it's there. And now I just dissolve that, you know, and
Right.
then it becomes different.
But Dilmi, to be very honest, I think this particular conversation is very useful. I would beg our audience to watch this very carefully, because, I mean, come on, this is freedom. It's nothing but freedom. Now, just one last thing, for people to change perspective. I think even before that, you had given one or two things. You said, look at everything from your heart, and be truthful, and be honest. Just give one pointer or other. I don't want to use the guideline, but just, at least for the audience to, okay, I got to think like this, or at least look at this like this. So that's a good way to end our conversation.
Okay. So Dr. Vipula, I will give you one exercise for people who are watching to do, you know. Every day, like in the evening or whenever you can, take 10 minutes and just start when you're like, let's say maybe it's a walk, maybe you're driving. I mean, I don't recommend it to do it when you're driving. Like maybe we are walking or something like that, and then start saying, this is me. That is me. That is me. You know, I mean, not like take it in a real way, you know, because that is the truth. Even though it might look separate to you, just go on telling like, this is me, you know, and that at least it will bring you in a different direction, you know. For that particular 10 minutes, you are still at least living in the true nature, living in that reality. Yeah.
Beautiful. To be honest, Dilmi, now when we started this conversation, our dialogue, I don't know whether it's a natural thing or whether it was kind of a perfect networking finally. And I'm happy that, you are coming up with this way of communicating with our audience. And I have no doubt whatsoever, maybe there may be a small kind of a fraction of people who will get this, but it doesn't matter, as long as this is a very sincere attempt to convey this to the people, for which you are not personally gaining anything, and your time is given for this audience who are sheer truth seekers, and I know people, they go off out there and try to look for meeting gurus after gurus, but
Yeah.
this simple communication will
Spiritual shopping.
or sometimes you call it spiritual materialism also, because you are looking to gain something also. Well, Dilmi, I'm very grateful to you, and I'm personally happy that I sort of encourage you to come on board for this, and we will continue to have this dialogue. If there is someone out there who will get it, our purpose is served.
No,
So-
even one person get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough. Yeah.
Exactly, Dilmi. I'm very happy, and I also feel good that we are spending this time very productively for the mankind, and to alleviate suffering of the people. So once again, Dilmi, we'll meet again, and I'm very grateful to you for doing this, and let's continue with this conversation. Thank you
Sure, Doctor.
very much indeed.
Okay, thank you.